Hi, I'm James Christopher, writer-director of Look at Me Again and the president of Twitchy, Dolphin, Flix. We're here in Idyllwild, California for the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema 2012. Look at Me Again tells the story of three sisters and their families and how one incident in that family can cause a ripple effect throughout all of the relationships. It's a loose sequel to the first film that I ever directed that I don't really let anybody see, called Littlefield. It's actually available for purchase on underdogs.com right now. But Littlefield kind of began these characters, and we finished the movie, and I learned so much more about making a movie from that movie to when it began to when it was over, and I really wanted to go back to these characters, and so I basically picked the story up about 5 years later. And I kind of wanted to examine things like relationships and infidelity and what happens when you've been sleeping next to the same person for years and how you start to sort of take them for granted. And that's kind of where it began. We shot the film about a year and a half after I wrote the first draft. I think there were maybe 16 drafts in the film total. And then we shot it through June and July in Austin, Texas. It was actually the hottest summer we'd had on record up until this past summer. The average typical temperature was about 110 degrees. So it was a pretty grueling shoot. But we got really great performances out of actors like Stephanie Dunbar, Vanessa Perry, Richard Jones, Kobe Wallingsford, and a bunch of others. So it was a group of people making a movie that really kind of went all in, and they really did a great job of putting themselves second and putting the project and their fellow actor and crew member ahead of them. And the film has had a very successful festival run. We're very excited about it. It began its festival run with the Bare Bones Film Festival in 2011. It's played the Underdogs Film Festival, where it won Best Picture. It has played the Action on Film Festival, and just recently it played the Idyllwild 2012 Film Festival. We had a great screening. We've loved being in Idyllwild. It's a very beautiful little town, and the film festival has been so welcoming and so supportive of everything that we've done. Our screening was great. We had a full house. We really felt like it connected with most of the audience, and all in all, it's just been a very successful chapter in what has been a very surprisingly successful film that we made. Twitchy Dolphin Flix is a micro-budget film company that started out of Austin, Texas about 4 or 5 years ago. It began when Chris Koppel and I graduated from the University of Texas and decided that we didn't really want to do a traditional film career out in LA. We really wanted to stay in Austin. We really wanted to be part of the independent scene here. And we really wanted to be able to do our projects, our stories, our scripts, our way. So that's kind of what we did. We made a film called Littlefield before the company was even official. But the first project that we did was a movie called Funny Books, which was kind of our love affair to comic books. Since then, we've done romantic comedies. We've done a drama called Look at Me Again. We've done a comedy called Snatch and Grab, which has won a bunch of awards for, and it's sort of a sex romp with the women in charge, the idea being that women take charge of their own sexuality. So we try to do a bunch of different scripts, whatever is in our head, without being tied to any specific genre. Just recently, we wrapped a movie called Going Gorilla, which is about a screenwriter that eschews the Hollywood system to do his own thing, much like we decided to do. So it was something that was very personal. And then just this year, we have finished post-production on 2 films, a film called Abram's Hand, which is a horror movie with religious undertones, and Turkey Day, which is sort of a comedy about the awkwardness of a family coming together for Thanksgiving when they're not necessarily really ready to spend the time in a room together. The whole mission state of our company is to keep everything at a micro budget and really try to just be multi-genre, try to be a studio for one-stop shopping and be able to make the kind of films that we really want to make. One of the things at Twitchy that we always believe is important and vital to our company model is to always be looking forward and to know where we're going, and we try to make sure that we're planned about 3 or 4 projects out in advance. We are actually about to begin production on a comedy called 3 References that's being produced by myself, Trissa Kelton, and Francis Casanova, and that tells a story of about a guy that sort of runs through the female population with reckless abandon and only to be forced to face the wrecked lives that he left behind. After that, Trissa Kelton will be starring in a mockumentary called Quadruple X, which is sort of a Spinal Tap, Christopher Guest type movie about the adult film industry. After that, we've got a couple of really good scripts in development as well, a drama called Disassociationville, as well as a comedy called Mr. Sunshine Has a Bad Day, which I'm not allowed to talk about at this point. In addition to that, we'll be producing our short films. In October, we'll be screening Scarlet Waters 5, which will be another film festival that we're going to put on to give filmmakers like us from around the country and around the world even an opportunity to actually get their films seen by an audience in Austin. So we are going to be very busy, but very excited about the future of our company. Hey, bro. This is the film cinematographer, Chris Koppel. Chris, would you like to talk a little bit about Look at Me Again? And
yeah, visually we were just trying to define the spaces to match the emotional states of each of the characters. So you'll notice that whenever we're in the kitchen area with Stephanie, we try to make everything feel very claustrophobic, tight, squash the space. There's not a whole lot of depth in there, except when Liam is in there, and that's just to point out that they're so distant from each other. So they're often put at different ends of the kitchen in order to get the viewer to really feel the distance. And we also use focus to supplement that feeling by to racking from one to the other on emotional high points of the scene. And I'm gonna get a beer, so whatever.